with all the latest big talking points, news and discussion from the football world. This is Football Central. And go.
Hello and welcome to pre-match build-up to the big one, the Manchester Derby, as the blue and red sides meet in the Premier League. It's first against, well, another top four contender. I don't think Manchester United are second anymore, are they?
They're third.
Third.
After left first versus third, thank you. In the Premier League, United versus City, Solskjaer versus Guardiola. Surely it's going to be a very interesting game. And in order to talk you through all that, you've got myself, Jordan, aka JLIWheels, along with the man whose channel this is on, Mr. TubeMix, and my favourite little friend, Mr. Sam Taylor.
Thank you. Hello, everybody.
Good afternoon, everybody. Come on, United. Come on, boys. Let's keep our faint hopes of the title alive.
As a Chelsea fan, I actually want to start off today by giving my congratulations to Rangers, who've won their very first Scottish Premier League title under Steven Gerrard, and their first in 10 years. They've been phenomenal. The likes of Ryan Kent, Alfredo Morelos, Jermaine Defoe, all sorts of players that we know are fantastic, and a manager that I think has a real future in the game. So well done to them. Commiserations to Celtic, but it is good to see somebody else.
Absolutely.
Win
You've had it every year,
Absolutely.
Celtic. You can't complain.
And you know, Rangers are as big a side as Celtic. It's just that they, for those of you that don't know, like Will, he was probably out of football. Rangers and Celtic used to like pick it turns to win the title. Not on purpose, but it was between those two. And then thinking about 2004, maybe 5, Rangers went into administration, and I think they may.
Yeah, I remember that actually.
I think they may even have gone into liquidation before they.
Yeah.
Went
So from what I can remember, in about 2011-12, Rangers went under, and then they ended up in Scottish League 2, worked their way back up, and yeah, it's a great story. You know, it really is. And that was one of the big battles in Scottish football, is the Rangers versus Celtic situation.
Absolutely.
Celtic obviously have always had the stronger squad, even in the, you think about the early 2000s with like Chris Sutton and Henrik Larsson and John Hartson and
some great
like
players there.
I would say though, of course, I'm not taking anything away from Celtic, what those players have achieved. Even the ones that have left, like Van Dijk and players like that, incredible. But I do think the fact that they haven't had Rangers to compete with for so long is a massive reason why they have. Why they've won so many on the bounce. I'm not saying all credit to them because they start to win them, and there's some good sides up there. But I'm not surprised that they've won that many, having looked at that the sides have had. But good for Steven Gerrard. From
Fantastic player.
Very good. Doing well in management.
Absolutely.
People who say it's just the Scottish Premiership is absolutely rubbish because he's in charge of one of the biggest clubs in world football. There, obviously, they don't have the financial resources of the Premier League, but they're a massive club.
And I think, like, yeah, okay, fair enough. It is only the Scottish Premier League, but I think it's incredibly difficult or it has been an incredibly difficult job for Gerrard to dethrone Celtic, and it's taken him a couple of seasons.
But then again, it's taken the club a couple of seasons. You know, if he had come into a club that had won titles, you know, in the recent past before he came, then yes, then he may have won one quicker. But as he's been building, the club's been building because they've still been recovering from where they were. So
Yeah,
obviously,
no, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, you know, I'm in the camp that Steven Gerrard's done a fantastic job. I really do.
I agree.
Believe that.
They've got an outside chance of the Europa League as well. There are
and not
stronger
just
sides
that.
in
Like,
there.
now that they've won the league, they can attract some bigger players as well. Because to me, you know, even though Celtic are Celtic, they do attract players sometimes where you're like, oh, really? They've gone to Celtic? So I think this sort of, you know, it's only going to help the Scottish Premier League as a league.
And I'm not saying that they should take their eye off the ball, but they can really focus now on giving some younger players a chance in the league to enjoy it and get the whole squad to enjoy it. And it doesn't matter if they drop a couple of points.
Celtic have got nothing to play for now, have they?
I'm really focused on the Europa League.
No, they're out of the Europa League.
No, they're not.
They are. I'm pretty sure they're out.
No, they beat Royal Antwerp a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, he's on about Celtic.
No, I'm on about Rangers.
Oh, sorry. Right, yep, sorry.
I'm on about that. No, Rangers could really focus on the Europa League now and putting the strongest side out for that. And it doesn't matter if they drop a few points in the league. Give everybody a game in the league and go flying for that Europa League. Why not?
Yeah,
why not?
Absolutely.
Once you get a taste of a trophy, then you know why not? And also, there's you know, by playing younger players in the league now, or when the pressure's off, you might unearth some gems there as well.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win.
I think I know what you're going to ask, Will, but go on.
Do you think that the players like Morelos, do you think they could now stay now?
I think there's a chance Morelos could stay.
I think Morelos won't stay. I think from what I think he's one of those that sort of believes his own hype a little bit.
Right, he's one of those, is he?
He probably would go.
And he's probably done everything he set out
but,
to do at Rangers.
You know, with the way that Rangers have been, you know, they could probably bring in somebody that's good enough to you know, sort of do a job for them as good as Morelos has done.
I read something in the paper, and I'm sorry to get if I get you completely excited, Rangers fans, but you know, because it was just a rumor that they're going to go after Millamino from Liverpool once he comes back from his loan at Southampton. So that would be a big cue if they could pull that off.
But I reckon he could get into Liverpool's team now with the start he's made at Southampton. Millamino.
He's been really good for Southampton, I think.
Yeah.
It's a good. If I was the Liverpool manager and I was looking to loan a player out to a Premier League club, I'd send them out to Southampton if they wanted him because they play a very similar style to Liverpool. So the players have learned like how the almost Liverpool way playing at Southampton. I know Southampton fans won't like that, but I'm sure you know what I mean.
Yes. Now there's not just the Manchester derby. There's the big derby in the Liga. Atletico Madrid beat Real Madrid. Luis Suarez in the 50th minute, assisted by Marcos Llorente. Let me just check. Yes, it is Marcos Llorente. Yes, so Atletico Madrid are 5 points above Real Madrid, who have played a game more. And it's also a return from Kieran Trippier after his 10-week ban for betting.
Oh God, yeah.
Yes, I'm pleased. I'm pleased with Atletico. We talk about managers that go under the radar. Now, I know Diego Simeone is known around the world, but the job he's done at Atletico consistently is incredible.
Yeah, and I think it's only because, his personality and the way he sets up teams, a lot of people don't agree with.
And I get
probably one of
that.
the only reasons that he sort of,
I
gets
do get
ignored
that.
a bit.
No, I do get that, but I just think what he's done, reaching the Champions League finals, he's done winning the league twice. I think he's won the league. This would be the third time. Winning cups, winning the Europa League. I think he's one of the best around, Diego Simeone. To take on the giants of Barcelona and Real Madrid consistently. All right, a few times have finished third recently, but consistently being in that conversation and breaking up those two quite regularly over the last few years has just been absolutely outstanding for me. So I just think, and I think he loves the club. I think that's important too.
He used to play for them, didn't he, Simeone?
Yes, I think he did. He did. So, and yeah, you talk about teams going in and out of form and stuff like that, and for me, like, they've hardly.
They've only had one bad season, have they?
No, and they've hardly over the time Simeone has been manager. They've hardly had a dip. You think of the teams that have had a dip, like even Spurs under Pochettino had a dip, and all these class managers, Chelsea under Mourinho, all this, and Simeone's been so consistent. I know it helps being at the same club, but it's some going that into the modern day and age to be at a club for 10 years or whatever.
Oh, for sure. No, I completely agree. One of the things I wanted to do just quickly before we hand over to Will, because we actually haven't handed over to poor Will yet.
No, it's fine.
Is to just go over what's gone on today in the Premier League so far. It's been big for teams at the bottom. West Brom and Newcastle played at a 0-0 draw.
Nothing to miss from that one, but it's not surprising.
As we were talking just before we came on air, and we sort of said that we think there's 5 teams that could go down right now, and my biggest bet for staying up, obviously, I think the one furthest away from the danger zone, which is Burnley. I reckon they could have enough to stay up. But other than that, I'm probably saying Fulham. Obviously, they got a big win against Liverpool. Mario Lemina.
Just sit back. Sorry to interrupt, but they didn't. I've just watched the game and they didn't sit back. They obviously Liverpool on most of the possession, but they played some really good football and hit them on the counter attack.
And they've tightened up defensively, haven't they, as well?
Yeah, I mean that's one of the problems, isn't it? Because Liverpool's back four was Robertson plus, Nat Phillips, Reece Williams, and Nico Williams. And, playing against a team that's near the bottom is a different type of challenge altogether for, a complete first 11 anyway. Let alone...
It is at this stage of the season because, they're absolutely, I remember playing teams when we were at the top of the championship and there were teams at the bottom and we got promoted when we finished second, but you played a bottom team with like 3 games to go who still had a chance of staying up and the fight in them was like, through the roof. So,
and then it's like, let alone, if you've got an unexperienced, back four.
Looking away from Fulham though, fantastic.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I would love for them to stay up.
They play good football.
Let's hope they do stay up, but I think they will stay up actually.
I don't know if you boys agree, but what I love about Fulham is they play good football. They don't just sit back.
They do.
Try and go nail.
They play good. Oh, sorry.
I think we spent a lot of time talking about Brighton and the good football they play.
But they can't tighten up defensively, can they, Brighton?
But Brighton don't actually play good football because good football will always get results in the end. So there's something wrong there, and that's the thing. So I actually think that Fulham are a great side because they play good football, and it wasn't working. And they were unlucky, or they just played purely bad. But now it is working. So, there is something in what Scott Parker's doing. So I hope they do stay up.
I do, and I think one thing I always like to see is how they've improved, especially since like the end around Christmas time onwards, is how they've improved defensively. They almost on the second half of the season display, for me, I know the league table doesn't lie, but for me, don't deserve to go down because they've improved so much. I know football's played for a whole of the season, but the way they've improved, and I know it's something Scott Parker talked about in the early weeks where he was on about how much they were working defensively, and it will come, but it's just come in the nick of time, perhaps. And I think it'd be a real shame to go down, but if they do go down, I hope
they'll go down fighting.
This is the thing, right? We're at that stage of the season now. 10, 11 games to go. Every single point counts.
Oh yes, of course.
And every single goal and conceded, you could argue, counts, especially at the bottom.
Absolutely, no, I 100% agree. Sure.
It's about getting the results, isn't it? It's not about the performances. If you can grind out a result, particularly for the teams at the bottom, Yeah.
No, 100%. So with all that being said, let's hand over to Will. Because we haven't done that yet, so you want to say hello, Will, and give us some team news?
Absolutely, yes. So, your team news...
Bruno!
Sam's already getting into the swing of things, I see.
And, it's the right way to be.
Absolutely. So, we'll start with Manchester City, actually. So, it's Edison in goal. João Cancelo at right back, I think. Yes. John Stones and Ruben Dias make up the central defence, while Alexander Zinchenko plays as a left back. It's a midfield trio of Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri, and Ilkay Gundogan. And up top, it's Gabriel Jesus, supported by Raheem Sterling and Riyad Mahrez. On the bench, Kyle Walker, Sergio Aguero, Stack Stefan, Emerick Laporte, Bernardo Silva, Ferran Torres, Benjamin Mendy, Fernandinho and Phil Foden for Manchester United. And our congratulations on behalf of Football Central to David De Gea for becoming a father. That's absolutely fantastic news.
Hopefully that'll keep his eye on the ball, man.
Hopefully he gets dropped.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping this is actually a blessing in disguise. I'm hoping Dean Henderson, this is a chance for him to, to say, I deserve the number 1 shirt.
I think,
by the way, chance.
I just want to clear something up. I booed at 10 of the outfield, 10 of the players for City, but I have to give away a lightweight to Mahrez. City connections. So
you're fickle.
Carry on.
Right, anyway. So it's Dean Henderson in place of David De Gea in goal. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw.
I get boos. No, Maguire gets a boo. Boo! You shit out.
He just needs the right partner. He just needs the right partner. Anyway, Scott McTominay and Fred make up the duo in midfield. Daniel James, Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford. And finally, to finish it off, at the top of the cake is Anthony Martial up top.
Ray!
No Cavani.
He's one of our own.
Oh,
Marcus
blimey.
Rashford. He's one of our own.
I think you need to calm down. How many beers have you had?
Too many, I think. Anyway.
High on life.
On the on the bench is Eric Bailly, Mason Greenwood, Lee Grant, Ahmed, Alex Tellers, Nemanja Matic, Brandon Williams, Axel Tuanzebe, and Shoretire. And that concludes your lineups.
I think it's not Shaw. I think his name's Shaw Tire. I don't think it's Shoretire.
Oh.
I know. I prefer Will's version. We'll go with Shaw.
Hello there, Mr. Shoretire.
Sorry, everyone. I'm just creating a bit of crowd atmosphere here because obviously,
I feel like we're in the Etihad.
If we were in the grounds, then that would be what happened. So though I have to say, just out there to people, and I know we can't do it now, but I was looking at some old pictures from the 1970s that came up on my news feed on my computer, and it was of Man United and Man City fans or people from Manchester walking together to the matches and then going off in their own sections, and you don't really see that anymore, and it's a shame because obviously a lot of fights and stuff.
Well, yeah, they need to grow up.
But I just thought, what a lovely thing! Like you'd see a Man City family next to a Man United family, like walking to the game and then going in their individual sections. So, if we could have more of that when football fans are allowed back, rather than all this abuse and hostile atmospheres, then we'd appreciate it.
I can't wait for the fans to return, but obviously the only downside is, not all the games would be on TV.
No. Oh, we mean because of the... Yeah, but we need fans.
Absolutely, yes, we do need fans.
All sport needs fans. I was listening to Andy Murray, who, if you don't know, is my biggest hero.
You wouldn't be able to know that. You'd never know that if you met Sam, let me tell you.
Any sport. And you could argue that I like tennis just as much as football, but anyway.
I only watch Wimbledon.
I'd argue that. I agree. I think you do.
I love both sports. Anyway, but the point is, he said, "Oh, I can't wait to play in front of fans," and I think it's all right for a while. You know, Liverpool in football wouldn't have been on this slump. They may have dropped off a bit like they have, but they need the fans to get them out of this slump that Liverpool are enduring, because the fans wouldn't put up with it, and they'd bring a bit of
Oh,
urgency.
absolutely no, they wouldn't put up with it at all.
So yeah. But yeah, let's hope for a good, one half of the red side has lost on Merseyside, which is an excellent news. So let's hope that the true one can deliver a cracking performance today.
So, where can you see the game being won and lost? Which positions on the pitch are the key ones?
I literally, if Will didn't say it, I was literally going to go, right, I'm going to ask Will's favourite question, and I was going to say it.
It'd be like if you did a bingo on this show of the phrases that we say.
I know why we're not getting any viewers on this. It's because we're too generic.
Is it because we've gone from 2 videos a week to a video whenever Will feels like it? Is that why?
Oh no, I just, it's just, it's good to have a break.
No, Will is right. We've not had a break for ages. Anyway, carry on, Will, with your point.
Yes. So yes, which if you were to make a bingo of the things that we say on this show, that'd be one of the questions. Where can the game be won and lost? Where are the key positions? So where are the key positions for you on the pitch that the game can be won and lost?
Well, United, from a United perspective, we need to defend well, because however well we play this season, you're going to have more of the ball. So, we have to be solid, we have to be organised, we have to be ruthless on the counter-attack, and use the pace of Rashford and Martial and the guile of Fernandes, and most importantly, when we do break, we have to get it right, because we're not going to be able to break that often. So I think a lot more components have to come together for United to win the City. City could have an off day, and we could have a brilliant day, and City could still beat us.
The only problem with this question is that when you ask where the game will be won and lost, wherever you say the weakness is for the first team is what you'll say the strength needs to be for the next team. So I completely agree. Like for me, for example, City's strength has to be the play with the fullbacks, because United, they're very much Rashford and Dan James coming in is
he's done really well, hasn't he? Now that he's got his confidence back, James.
He doesn't use his pace. He doesn't. Sorry to interrupt, but he doesn't use his pace enough for me, James. He's one of the quickest in the league, and I don't think he goes on enough runs to beat his fullback. I think it's.
But that's what I think. Go on.
You look at somebody like, I know. You could argue he's not far off the pace of Adama Traore. All right, he's not as strong physically, but he doesn't. He could burn people, with his pace, and he just doesn't do it enough for me.
Maybe it's like Will said. Maybe it's a confidence.
I think for me, I feel now seeing him now once he got that goal, whenever it was, it was a confidence thing, because once he's got that, whenever he scored that goal, he's come back now and looking like the James at the start of the season.
I think we got.
Sorry, not this season. Last season, sorry.
Yeah, no, I was actually going to say that exact thing as well. I think, he was taken from Swansea probably too early on, put in the first team of United, right in the spotlight, did well, and then didn't do too well, got a lot of flack. So you've just got to give it time, and that's the problem.
Yeah,
Is
I
that
disagree. I think that we should have brought him when we brought him, but maybe loaned him back to Swansea for the
yeah, no,
season.
that's what I mean in terms of like he went to a big team quick, but he was thrust straight in. And you do find that there are a lot of players that go straight into the first team and do well, and then completely
But this is Man
disappear or
United.
don't
This
do as
is
well.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I think there's
it's all the
both
same, isn't it?
some really good points there. I think
But this is Man United where no
you don't
disrespect, but
have time really.
if you'd have gone to somewhere from Swansea to say to Southampton, the level of step up is still the same because it's the same league to the players you're playing against.
And
But
the
but
expectation isn't as much either.
no, the quality of opposition is still the same as it would be playing for United, but the expectation is less. And
Yes.
and you know, seeing Bruno, an interview with Bruno today, it's like if he doesn't play well, he feels that everybody has a go at him because he's the most creative player in United side. Where that's the difference between United and City as well. As good as De Bruyne is, even if he has an off day, they've got other players like Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Mahrez, who are very flair, Sterling, who are all flair players, so they can cover for that. Where
Yeah.
United, because Bruno's one of our only proper creative forces that makes things happen on a regular basis. If he doesn't play well, it's almost worse for the team than if De Bruyne doesn't play well because City have others that can, all right, not as good as De Bruyne, but are still world class players. Where if Bruno doesn't play well, United don't play well. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think Fernandez, he gets upset, doesn't he? That when it seems to be always on him. I think I've
Which I
noticed.
can understand. Which I can understand. Like people, they've just heard the commentary team of they've got on Sky. They've got Micah Richards, Roy Keane, and Graham Souness today in the studio alongside Dave, but who's the presenter. But they are all very strong, opinionated people, and they said, well, he shouldn't be complaining because that's the pressure of playing for Man United. But I don't. I agree in a sense, but I don't agree in another sense because he is so far ahead of the rest that in what he does that it's like it's always on him. If when we had a proper winning titles each year, if Giggs didn't have a good game or Beckham didn't, then Scholes would probably have a good game, or Ronaldo would have a good game. Where now it's like there is almost, even for United standards, too much pressure on Bruno. I don't know what Jordan thinks about that, but it's because
No, I
he's
agree.
the only.
I agree, but in the same respect, like what you're saying is exactly right. He is the only one. Like, if he has a good game, they do. If he doesn't, they don't. That's it. Like that's what it is. You can't handle the pressure. Don't play for it. I also think it's not fair. It's not fair on him. Yeah, fair enough. It's not fair, but he can't help being the best player in that team by a mile, can he? So, it,
Well,
it is what it
don't
is.
you feel that City are in a different situation? Because obviously the expectations are high, but if De Bruyne doesn't have a good game and can't hurt you, Sterling can, Mahrez
Well,
can.
yeah, well, that's what's changed City, isn't it? To me, that's what's changed City um, into a team that, for me, will win the title. Is that they're you know, it was very much, oh my God, they've got no Aguero, no Jesus. What are they gonna do? Nightmare, fires, meltdown. But now, you know, John Stones and Diaz have stepped up. Cancelo has stepped up. Everybody
Yeah.
is on fire, and
And they have match
that,
winners. That's the
yeah,
difference. They have more match winners as well than
and
United do.
that's the difference with the bigger teams is that you can turn around and you can say, okay, well, if you're not going to have a good game, well, you are, or if you're not going to have a good game, well, da, da, da. It's like when Werner first came to Chelsea, it was all about, oh, Werner, Havertz, blah blah blah, Thiago Silva, blah blah blah, Chilwell, and those players are the ones that actually haven't done as well as some of the others. You look at Reece James, you look at the you know, your midfield
Mason
like your
Mount.
Kovacic and Jorginho and Mason Mount and players like that and Mendy. So, you know, it has to be a consistent thing. And that is my problem with United at the minute, is that they are very much a Bruno team. And
He's almost created the pressure on himself. I know
yeah,
he came for money,
but the
but I
thing
mean,
is, they can't really.
by doing so well, it's now it's a disaster if Bruno doesn't have a good game. Where
Yeah,
if it
the
had
thing is,
done good, good but not, you know, good, like everybody could see he's a good player but not outstanding, then everybody go, yeah, he's a good player, yeah, he's made a difference, but he's made such a difference of the likes that somebody like Eric Cantona had, that he gets compared to, I know the different players, but in terms of his influence on the team, he gets compared to that all the time, and he's not in as good a team. So you always talk about Bruno, but if he was as good as he is playing with better players that were creative as well, who weren't quite as good but still good players, that you'd be talking about them. And
yeah, that
the fact that Bruno hadn't had a good game, well, you'd be talking about, all right, no problem, because we've still got something out of the game, and Scholes
that
had a good game, and Beckham
that's the
did. But
thing.
now,
That's the thing. I think that if he was around better players, he probably wouldn't look as good as he does now. But there's
or
not
he
that
would,
much to.
but there'd be
It's
others.
probably, you know, there's probably not that much to shout about for United. Really, I can see them not doing very well today, mainly because Man City are, you know, they gel as a team really cohesively. You
They
know,
do.
any one of them can have a good, any one of them could have a bad game, but the other, you know, the other 10 players have a great game.
Yeah, and
So
that's the point I'm
it
making.
doesn't matter, and that's been the difference this year in the Premier League in general. And you know, I think it gets past the point where it's like, oh, you know, we need fans back. There's no fans. The atmosphere isn't the same. COVID, blah blah blah. And I agree with all that, but I also think that, you know, it's been this way for nearly a year now. So, you know, they've got to play it. Some players have got to have gotten used to it. I think like the amount of like injury lists are getting shorter. People are back a lot more, and the only people with a massive injury list now really is Liverpool.
Yeah,
But I think that's just on them really. I think that's just unlucky, innit? Because it is.
I think one term I would like to use is the match is on City's racket. And what I mean by it's on City's racket, they're the ones that can cause. I'm not saying United don't have players that can cause damage, but the match is there for City to win. It's on their racket,
Balls
and
in their court.
the match will be the match will be dictated on, yes, how well United play, but more so on how well or not well City play, because they just have the power to overpower
That
teams.
being said, United do have the edge in the recent
We do.
derbies. So
We do. Yes.
I mean, does it really
Is
matter?
it a bit of a voodoo? I like this voodoo. Apart from the cup games, apart from the cup games, they keep beating us in the AFL Cup year after year. But
I don't know about you, Will, but I think we should go to predictions because the game's about to
Oh
start.
yeah, absolutely. So,
yeah,
what are your predictions then?
I'm still gonna sort of say a City win. I said, from what I can remember about last week, I said like 2-0 City. I'm gonna stick with that. I don't know. I think that City are just too strong. I really do. Head and shoulders above anybody in the league right now
Sam?
by a mile.
I'd have to say that firstly, I hope it's not as boring as the 0-0 draw I watched in September because that's probably
The
worst
Chelsea
game
and
ever.
United one.
No, the United and City one at Old Trafford. That was 0-0 on it. And it was probably the most
Yeah, it was,
boring.
wasn't it?
It was honestly nothing happened. I remember me and you trying to do that well, and we just had nothing to talk about. So yeah, but obviously United all the way. But I think it might be a draw today. I think it might be a draw, and I say that honestly. I think I'm going for a 1-1 draw. Well,
I'm gonna go for a very tough, but I think I have a feeling United will just nick it 2-1. I think.
I never backs against them. He never ever does that, does he? He just can't bring himself to do it.
Whenever the thing is, right, when it used to be a thing that we did on here where we'd all say United were going to lose and then they'd win, and we'd all say they were going to win and then they'd lose. So with all three of us saying a different result, it'd be interesting to see which way it goes.
It will be, yeah.
Right, they're about to kick off, so
Do you want to drive us home, somebody?
Yeah, I mean, I will if you're ready, Will.
Yeah. That's fine.
The viewers will be wanting to watch the game rather than hear us prat along. Yeah, thank you for everyone for watching. I do like these shows because we have to stay on topic because we don't have long. So yeah, in a way it's good structured. But yeah, whether you're a red or a blue or a neutral, enjoy. And hopefully this will be the last derby in our lifetime that we'll have fans. Oh, is he giving the penalty? He's giving the penalty. Gabriel Jesus is giving away a penalty in the first minute.
What?
I think Gabriel Jesus
they've only just kicked off. How can?
Yeah, Gabriel Jesus is giving away a penalty in the first minute, and it definitely looks like a penalty.
That's got to be the earliest minute to give away a penalty.
Yeah, well, it was 30 seconds, I think.
How bizarre. Okay.
So we do already. I said, do we have things to talk about? We will have things.
We will, yeah.
So
Very good.
Yeah.
Are we available for extra time, boys, to come back after the match?
Bruno Fernandes stepping up against Anderson. It's been confirmed the penalty.
Come on, Anderson.
Come on, Bruno. He stands. He waits. Hop, skip, and a jump. It's in. Bruno Fernandes has scored. He went to the goalie's right and he's absolutely planted it in the corner. 1-0 United. Come on. And on that note,
what a bizarre beginning.
We'll let you watch. And on that note, we'll let you watch the end of the game.
Bruno Fernandes only scores penalties. Fight me.
Bruno.
No, anyway, he doesn't only score penalties.
Right. On that note, we are wrapping the show up. So yeah, enjoy. Come on, United. Anyway, bye everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye then.